Yo, 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 it's the MMA Short Show. It's always your boy, Stephen Moustaris. And guys, UFC 294 this weekend. I mean, I've already talked about the Volkanovski and Islam. And by the way, I can't just keep saying guys. I know I got some ladies watching. You guys always correct me. I'm so sorry. But ladies and gentlemen, I should say, I promise I'll work on that. But still, though, I've already shared how excited I am about Volk and how excited I am about the Islam fight. And, it's not usual that I'm that excited about a replacement fighter, but I'm more excited for not only the main event, like I said, with the Islam versus Volk. I'm more excited for the Khamzat Chimaev fight against Kamaru Usman than I was the Khamzat versus Paulo Costa. And that's no hate to Paulo Costa. It just, I don't know, man. We see this all the time with these fighters. We saw it with Darren Till. We see it, man. I could go on for days and days and days about certain guys, but I've just saved time on this video. We see our guys, these certain fighters that, have success early, maybe get a title shot, maybe become champion, but then once they start losing or whatever, they get that money, they get a little comfortable, you start seeing in their performance start to fall off. You don't see them, they're not as hungry, they're not training as hard, they don't need to, they don't need to go for broke all the time anymore. So it's like Paulo Costa's that guy, and he also seems to have way more fun on Twitter talking shit, which I don't blame these fighters, man. I really don't. It's more fun to sit there and talk shit on Twitter or whatever for these guys and not get punched in the face than getting punched in the face. Like, getting punched in the face is not fun. But all I got to say, man, when it comes to this Kamaru Usman thing, shouts out to both guys, by the way. Clearly, Khamzat, we all expect Khamzat to stay on the card. Khamzat has showed already that he'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. Give me anybody, I'll kill him, But with Usman, for him to come on 10 days notice after losing back-to-back title fights, losing his belt to Leon Edwards, and really putting it all on the line here on a 10 days notice, like 3 losses in a row could be detrimental to this dude, especially jumping up in weight class. And I don't know if you guys saw it today, literally just I think an hour or two ago, I was on Twitter and saw that Justin Gaethje was helping out Usman on his open, I think it was open workout, and there's a clear video of Justin Gaethje stopping mid-roll and was like, hey, are you all right, to Usman? And Usman said, I heard something pop. Like, you guys can go watch it for sure. But, like, so who knows already? Usman could be damaged and everything. But for him to take this, take this risk on 10 days notice, absolutely shouts out to the man. Same with Volk. For these guys to have the balls like that. And this is my other thing, man. This isn't going to be just like a normal 10-day notice fight. Like, Usman's the most professional guy in the world. He's a champion. This guy trains all year round. Dude's got one of the craziest physiques we've ever seen. This man is professional. He knows at any time, anywhere, any place, somebody could back out of a fight. He could be there. And so it's not going to be like we're seeing a 10-day notice Usman who's way out of shape and, not ready at all for fight. Like, this guy's going to be ready, man. Like, clearly you're probably a bigger fight camp to, like, work on, the P's and Q's of the fight game, especially for somebody like Khamzat, such a dangerous guy who the puzzle hasn't been, put together yet on to defeat. But, I'm telling you guys, man, shouts out to both. And it is kind of sad for me to see, but it is kind of sad for me to see how Usman, is being champion for so long, man, and just never getting the respect ever. Like, I would truly say that man was one of the most underrated, most disrespectful champions ever. Like, outside of the Tyron Woodley fight and maybe the Colby Covington fight, because as much as us, some people might hate Colby, you got to remember they got a lot of stands out there. There's a lot of fans for Colby Covington. And, I do remember everybody in the MMA world loving, Kamaru for breaking, Colby's jaw. But outside of that, man, everybody wanted Gilbert Burns to win. Everybody wanted Jorge Masvidal to win. Everybody wanted Leon to win. Everybody wanted freaking Gilbert Burns, like I said. Everybody wanted good old Jesus. Literally every fight that he had, everybody wanted him to lose. And it was just insane how he kept going out there and kept getting the job done, kept finishing people. And it's just, man, it's absolutely phenomenal. And to see him finally get this love for stepping in on 10 days notice is a little depressing, but it is pretty, it's awesome to see at the same time, because it's like he does deserve this. But, I'm just saying, guys, if I'm really actually leaning Kamaru Usman here in this fight, I can't believe it. I don't know what it is. I feel like as of late, when we talk about Khamzat Chimaev, these are the reasons I think Kamaru Usman might win this fight. Not only does he have, Trevor Whitman in the camp, and the dude's one of the best game plan coaches out there, but the way that Kamaru Usman he's been evolving that jab and that 1-2, and just staying pure and just staying to the basics and just keeping the 1-2 going, keeping that jab going all night. It's been absolutely vicious. And Khamzat Chimaev, man, we've seen it with the Gilbert Burns fight. I'm not going to go into MMA math here because I know it never adds up. But, I am saying when recently this man either comes out really strong, like we saw with the Kevin Holland fight and with the Leech and all these fights that he comes out with the early takedown, he wastes so much energy lifting these guys up in the air and, carrying them to the end of the fence and talking shit to Dana White and, talking shit to the fighter. And then, it goes all out for a finish. And Kamaru Usman's, I don't think, I could be wrong here, but I just don't think Kamaru Usman's going to get finished like that. So if Khamzat's coming out here and wasting that much energy, or even when it comes to his striking recently, like his striking has become a lot, loopy, looking for a big punch, really telegraphed, really winding up. And if you're going to do that all night against somebody like Kamaru Usman, who's been in the biggest form, like this dude's been in the biggest fights. He's had the craziest lead up to fights where he's talking a lot of shit with the Jorge Masvidals, the Colby Covingtons. He's been there with a grudge match, the rematch against the trilogy fight against Leon Edwards. He's had all the pressure that could possibly be on the guy. And I don't think this moment's going to be too big for him. I think Khamzat's got more to prove here than Kamaru Usman does. And I don't know how that's going to be because if we're being honest, Khamzat had a way better chance to beat Paulo Costa than he does Kamaru Usman. And, granted, it is 10 days notice and everything, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if this is like the Bilal Muhammad step in on 9 days notice against Gilbert Burns, where we're sitting here like, okay, Gilbert had the full fight camp at least. Like, he's probably, it might be a good fight in the first round or two, but, I think Gilbert Burns is going to run out with it. And despite Gilbert Burns, I think broke his wrist or something in the first round, arm or what, a hand, something like that in the first round. He was the one that got gassed by the end of the fight. Bilal Muhammad off 9 days notice looked like a world beater, looked like he had the full camp. And I would not be shocked at all if we see that with Kamaru Usman. Like we saw it when Khamzat Chimaev actually gets in a good fight like we saw with Gilbert Burns, which hopefully he learned from and hopefully he learns from it and listens to his coaches. But I'm just telling you, man, he hasn't fought in a year. He's going to come out really excited. I think he's going to get overzealous here. And if he was huffing and puffing at the end of the second round against Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert had him rocked a bunch of times, and if that happens in Kamaru Usman's world, man, that pressure, I'm telling you guys right now, do not sleep on Kamaru Usman. I think a lot of people have forgotten just how good this guy is. Like, just because he lost to Leon Edwards 2 in a row, don't forget that first fight. He was absolutely dominating it, got head kicked. And then the second fight, I remember watching it live the first time, and because I was in a really busy bar and I couldn't hear anything at all, but I watched the entire fight. And, even me on that third fight, I should say, I thought Usman was going to get the decision, but then I, go back and rewatch it. And then you're like, oh, okay. You actually watch it up close and see that, Leon won, but it was a close fight. It's not like Usman got absolutely outclassed. Like it was just a bad matchup with Leon Edwards, and Leon happens to be, at the prime of his life right now. And probably the best shape he's ever been, the best he's ever looked. So, don't sleep on Usman, man. But shouts out to all these guys, man. This fight's going to be phenomenal. Not only the main event, but this fight. And this is the only thing I got to say, though. If Khamzat really is the man that we think he is, like, this should be his night. This is where he's going to come out here and make a performance that we'll never forget. But at the same time, there's a lot riding on him, and he does get wild. He does get over it, like, especially if things aren't going well with him and Usman. Like, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he starts throwing hard and tries to knock him out, but he's missing and whiffing. And next thing you know, Kamaru Usman looking like a world beater and Khamzat Chimaev looking real suspect. Like I'm telling you guys right now, do not be shocked at it at all. But I also wouldn't be shocked if we see Khamzat come out and somehow knock out Kamaru Usman in the first minute, or if he takes him down and somehow submits him real quick and he's just that dominant of a grappler. I just don't expect it, and it's really tough to see how Usman loses this fight, to be honest. So I don't know, guys. Don't sleep at all. I love this fight. I really do. But just don't sleep how much pressure's on Khamzat. I'm telling y'all right now. I think there's a little too much pressure on him. I think he comes out a little too hot, and wouldn't be shocked at all if Kamaru Usman is winning. And I don't know, man. But, guys, I'm so fucking excited for this fight. Seriously, I haven't been this excited for a replacement fight, let alone 2 replacement fights on a card. And I couldn't tell you how long. This one's an exciting one, man. So, as always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. Let me know what you guys think of who's going to win this fight. And let's go, baby. Let's go. And again, I apologize if I keep just saying guys. I mean it isn't whatever. But ladies and gentlemen, I know we got both watching. So, all right, shouts out. Let's go, boys. Let's go, ladies. Whoop.